Right now, this is a huge moment for our team. The front office knows changes are needed, and this offseason could really shape the future. There are important decisions coming about the offensive line and the weapons on offense, and every move matters. We're at a point where one or two smart additions could completely change the direction of the season. As a fan, you can feel that something bigger is building, and this is the time to get it right. Let's get into the details, but first, click the like button and comment below who you'd like to see wearing our uniform on the field. I want to know your opinion. Big moves could be coming for the Cleveland Browns in free agency. And this time, it's not just speculation. Andrew Berry made it clear that the team plans to be more aggressive than last year, and that alone should grab every fan's attention. He didn't promise reckless spending, but he did emphasize being targeted and opportunistic. That tells us something important. The Browns believe they're building towards something real, and they're not content standing still. Berry also mentioned the organization may be one off-season away from being hyper-aggressive, which signals that the front office sees a clear competitive window forming. Think about that. They like the coaching direction, they understand the timeline, and they know this roster is closer than people outside Cleveland might admit. That should energize the fan base because this isn't a rebuild talk. This is calculated growth. And if you're talking about being aggressive, you have to start in the trenches. The Browns know the offensive line needs a serious upgrade. That's not breaking news to anyone who watched last season. Protection issues were obvious, especially at left tackle, which is why the report from Adam Schefter changes everything. According to Schefter, five-time All-Pro left tackle Trent Williams could potentially hit free agency if he and the San Francisco 49ers can't resolve contract issues. Let that sink in. Trent Williams, possibly available. We're talking about one of the most dominant left tackles of this era. Even at 37 years old, he's still performing at an elite level. His recent numbers show strong PFF grades, durability with nearly 1,000 snaps at left tackle, and only 4 sacks allowed. That's not a declining veteran hanging on. That's a difference maker. Now compare that to what Cleveland dealt with last season. Cam Robinson struggled heavily. His 9.1% pressure rate ranked near the bottom of the league, and his PFF grade was dramatically lower than Williams. It was a glaring weakness. And if you can flip that position from liability to strength overnight, that changes the offense completely. The question becomes financial and strategic. Williams would likely command a significant one-year deal, possibly north of $20 million. Is that a move for a team in win-now mode? Or could Cleveland justify a short-term investment to stabilize the line while developing younger players? Berry has already talked about revamping the offensive line with veteran presence. There may not be a better mentor available than Trent Williams, but offensive line isn't the only storyline heating up. The wide receiver market is about to get interesting too. Kimberly A. Martin reported that Mike Evans will return for the upcoming season and explore free agency options. That means one of the most consistent wide receivers in football could be available. Evans has delivered 1,000-yard seasons year after year. He's a red zone weapon at 6'5", a touchdown machine, and a quarterback's dream target. But there's context. He's 32 years old, and injuries have followed him in recent seasons, including a concussion, a broken collarbone, and recurring hamstring issues. So the Browns would need to weigh cost versus reliability. His projected market value sits around $13.3 million per year, though his camp could push for more. For Cleveland, that's a major decision. Do you invest heavily in an aging star, or do you stay young and build through the draft, especially in a class loaded with receiver talent? And that's where this offseason becomes fascinating. The Browns can create cap space through restructures and cuts. They're not trapped. They have flexibility if they choose to act. So now the pressure shifts to execution. Do they make the bold move for a proven star like Trent Williams? Do they gamble on Mike Evans's upside? Or do they split the difference and target mid-tier options while investing heavily in rookies? Cleveland fans, this is shaping up to be one of the most pivotal off-seasons in recent memory. If the Browns truly are closer than people realize, this is the moment where aggression turns into action. So, I want to hear from you. If you had to choose, would you prioritize signing Trent Williams to fix the trenches immediately? Or would you go all in on adding a veteran playmaker like Mike Evans to boost the offense? What do you think is the smarter move for this team right now? And this is where things get even more interesting, because wide receiver isn't just about Mike Evans. There are multiple paths Cleveland could take, and each one sends a different message about the direction of this franchise. Take Romeo Doubs, for example. Reports suggest he may not be back in Green Bay, and at just 25 years old, he represents a younger option with solid production. He's not necessarily a 1,400-yard superstar, but he's reliable, physical, and capable of being a key contributor in a balanced offense. If the Browns want to stay aggressive without overcommitting financially, that type of move makes sense. Then there's Alec Pierce, who emerged as a legitimate deep threat, and even edged out Michael Pittman Jr. in production last season. Pierce broke the 1,000-yard mark and showed serious big play ability. But here's the catch. His price tag could soar past $20 million per year. That's a serious investment for a player who just had his true breakout season. Do you pay premium money for projection? Or do you allocate that money elsewhere? Another potential lower-cost option is Christian Kirk. His numbers have declined in recent years, but he's shown he can produce at a high level, including a 1,000-yard season in 2022. At 29 years old, he wouldn't break the bank, and he could fill a complementary role if the Browns want flexibility. And don't overlook the veteran angle. DeAndre Hopkins is another name that came up, especially with the connection to Todd Monken. Hopkins, at his peak, was considered by many to be the best wide receiver in football. If he's willing to take a modest deal, adding that experience to the locker room could be invaluable. But again, it comes down to cost, age, and long-term vision. Now let's zoom out for a second. This free agency conversation isn't happening in isolation. The draft class at wide receiver is loaded. There's belief inside league circles that players like Micaiah Lemon, Cardinal Tate, Jordan Tyson, Denzel Boston, and Omar Cooper Jr. could all be immediate contributors. That matters. Rookie contracts are cheaper, younger, and give you flexibility for years. Jordan Tyson's injury history might cause him to slide. If that happens, Cleveland could capitalize. Denzel Boston offers size and catch radius. Omar Cooper Jr. reportedly generated serious interest at the Combine. The point is, the Browns are not boxed into one solution, and that's what makes this offseason so critical. Andrew Berry has the flexibility to create cap space through restructures and roster moves. He's already told us the team will be more aggressive than last year. The trenches are a priority. Offensive line is a must-fix. Wide receiver needs help. The blueprint is clear. The real question is philosophy. Do you go short-term elite with someone like Trent Williams to stabilize the offensive line instantly? Do you gamble on a veteran wideout like Mike Evans if the price is right? Or do you split resources, grab a mid-tier free agent, and double down in the draft to build something sustainable? This isn't just about adding talent, it's about timing. Berry hinted that Cleveland may be one off-season away from being hyper-aggressive. That suggests this year could be about smart upgrades, calculated strikes that position the team for a bigger push next season. And if you're a Browns fan, that should fire you up. Because this front office isn't asleep. They're evaluating. They're preparing. And if one of these big names becomes realistically attainable at the right price, don't be shocked if Cleveland makes a move. Now everything hinges on execution. Free agency is right around the corner. The draft is approaching. Decisions are coming fast. If you believe this team is closer than outsiders think, this is the off-season that sets the tone. So keep your eyes locked in, because every signing, every restructure, every rumor matters. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and click the video that's on your screen right now. Go Browns!